Hello everyone, I am Dr. K. Annapurna, Associate Professor of ECE Department, BFSTR deemed to be University, Vadlamudi. Our today's topic is 555 S-stable multivibrator. In the last class, we have seen 555 monostable multivibrator. Already we have discussed the difference between S-stable and monostable multivibrators. S-stable means it doesn't have any stable states. So automatically based on the RC components, the on state and off state will be changed. Whereas monostable, one state will be stable state, and in our example, the off state is stable state. So the circuit will be in stable state until it receives an external trigger pulse. But in a stable multivibrator, it doesn't need any external trigger pulse to change from either on to off or off to on. The main objective of this class is to make you familiarize with the concept of a stable multivibrator. And by the end of this lecture, you will able to answer what is a stable multivibrator, what are the different applications of a stable multivibrator, what is duty cycle, how to design an stable multivibrator for a given duty cycle and frequency, and what are the different techniques to generate the 50% duty cycle square wave generation. And coming to the functional diagram, there is a slight difference between monostable and S-stable. Now let us see the functional diagram. This is VCC. 3 5 kilo ohms resistors are connected in series to provide the voltage division, and 2 comparators are used. This is upper comparator, this is lower comparator, okay, and here it equally divides. So this is, from this point means 2/3 VCC, and from this point means it is 1/3 VCC. VCC is equally divided among these 3 resistors. Across each resistor, 1/3 VCC will be available. We are taking voltage from this point means from this point to ground it is covering 2 resistor drops. So it is 2/3 VCC. From here means it is only 1 resistor drop. So it is 1/3 VCC. This is RS flip-flop. And the Q bar is given to power amplifier, which acts as inverter. So here we will take the output, and from this it drives the transistor. And here instead of only 1 resistor, we will have 2 resistors, RA and RB. So that is one difference. This is RA, this is RB, and this is C. And here both comparators, one of the inputs is this capacitor voltage, and discharging is through this transistor Q1. So discharge path is here. and here there will be reset. This is reference voltage. This is transistor Q2. Okay, this is the functional diagram of 555 S-stable multivibrator. So here let us see the operation, and here we are not using any external trigger pulse. So how it is going to generate the square wave? Okay, so here square wave means it will be having on state and off state like this, right? So initially let us assume the output is logic low. So the output is logic low means this is 0. So that means Q bar is 1, Q is 0. So this is 1 means what happens? This transistor will be in on condition. So this transistor is in on condition means this capacitor starts discharging through RB and the on resistor of Q1. Okay, so whenever this capacitor voltage falls below 1/3 VCC, so its voltage is getting decreased, it is discharging, okay, towards 0. And whenever the capacitor voltage just falls below 1/3 VCC, then what happens? This lower comparator output becomes logic 1 or plus Vsat. So this is 1. And what about this? This capacitor voltage falls below 1/3 VCC means it is logic 0. So what will be the output for this condition? R is 0, S is 1 means it sets the flip-flop. So it sets the flip-flop means now the Q is 1, Q bar becomes 0. So output becomes 1. And this 0 is given to transistor means this transistor will be in off state. If it is in off state, for this capacitor, there is no discharging path. Okay, there is no closed discharging path. So it stops discharging. Then what it do? It starts charging towards VCC through RA and RB. Whenever this becomes open, what happens? This capacitor starts charging towards VCC through RA and RB resistors, right? Then what happens when it is charging? At some point of time, this capacitor voltage will exceed 2/3 VCC. So whenever the capacitor voltage exceeds 2/3 VCC, what happens? Upper comparator plus input is dominating compared to minus input. So output will be plus Vsat, means this becomes 1. So this is 1. And what about this? Here now the capacitor voltage exceeds 2/3 VCC means definitely it is greater than 1/3 VCC. So this becomes 0. So for this combination of inputs, what is the output? R1 S0 means it resets the flip-flop. So resetting means output becomes 0. So Q bar becomes 1. And it is 1 means this transistor will be in on condition. So this transistor is in on condition means what happens? Again this capacitor starts discharging through RB and this on resistance of the transistor. So what happens? Whenever this capacitor voltage falls below 1/3 VCC, then again this lower comparator output becomes 1, upper comparator output becomes 0, right? So what happens? Again it sets the flip-flop. So it is 0. It is 0 means again it is off. Again it charges. So like that the output is 0, 1, 0, 1 means it is generating the square wave. Here 0, 1, 0, 1, the same thing will be appeared here. Because power amplifier is supplied with Q bar. Okay, Q bar means it is reverse of Q, and again power amplifier acts as inverter. So whatever the outputs available at Q, the same outputs can be seen at the output terminal. Okay, so in this way it generates the square wave. And here Let us see the timing pulses. So initially I am assuming output is at low. Okay, initially I am assuming output is at logic low. So output is at logic low means what are the conditions you see? When output is logic low, Q bar is 1. So Q bar is 1 means this will be in on condition. So the capacitor is in discharging path. So capacitor discharges when it is low. Right? And next let us see when the capacitor voltage falls below 1/3 VCC. So it is discharging and towards 0. So whenever the capacitor voltage falls below 1/3 VCC, what happens? The state is changing, right? So state is changing from 0 to 1. So when it reaches 1/3 VCC, the output is changing from logic low to logic high. And then what is happening? It is logic high now. So it is 1 means it is 0. So it is 0 means this transistor is in off condition. So Q1 is in off condition means there is no discharging path for the capacitor. So now it starts charging through RA and RB towards VCC. So from where it starts charging 1/3 VCC and towards VCC. Its final target is VCC. Okay, because its source is VCC, so it aims to charge up to VCC. But what happens? Meanwhile, in between, its voltage will reach 2/3 VCC. So whenever the capacitor voltage just exceeds 2/3 VCC, the upper comparator triggers. Okay, and it changes the state. So it starts charging here. When the output is in on condition, the capacitor is charging. Right? So it is charging up to what voltage? 2/3 VCC. So just exceeds means you can take it as 2/3 VCC. So up to that it will be in on state. And whenever this capacitor voltage just exceeds 2/3 VCC, what happens? The output changes to low. Output changes to low. Right? And again capacitor starts discharging because the Q1 transistor will be in on condition. So capacitor starts discharging and it aims to discharge up to 0. But whenever the capacitor voltage just falls below 1/3 VCC, the output again changes to logic high. So this process repeats. So when the output is in on condition, the capacitor is charging from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC. And when the output is logic low, the capacitor is discharging from 2/3 VCC to 1/3 VCC. Okay, this process continues and it results in square wave output. And now let us see the connection diagram. So this is the IC. How many pins it is having? 8 pins. Already we have discussed the pin diagram. So 8th pin is VCC. And when you are not using the reset pin, it is also connected to VCC. Okay. Avoid the accidental reset. And first pin is ground. 5th pin is control voltage. When you are not using this pin, generally it is connected to ground through a 0.01 microfarads capacitor to bypass the supply ripples. And 3rd pin is output. Okay. And here we are using 2 resistors RA and RB. Okay, this is C, RB, RA. So this is discharge pin, this is threshold, and here we are not using the trigger, so usually it is connected to the 6th pin. So this is the connection diagram. So if we connect the 555 timer like this, then it will automatically generate the square wave. Okay, let us derive the on time and off time of 555 stable multivibrator. That is, it is generating the square wave for how much on period, for how much off period, let us see. So first let us derive T on. Okay, so T on for what time? So here this on period is nothing but, from the operation just now we have seen, on period is nothing but this is the time taken by the multivibrator to charge from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC. That capacitor, how much time it takes to charge from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC. That is the time. It is nothing but on time. Similarly, off time means the time taken by the capacitor to discharge from 2/3 VCC to 1/3 VCC. Right? So we know the capacitor voltage expression. VC of T is equal to V final plus V initial minus V final into e power minus T by RC. Okay, this is the voltage across the capacitor, general expression. Now, what is the initial voltage? From where it is starting? During on period, the capacitor voltage, starting voltage is 1/3 VCC. Right? And its target is VCC. Target is nothing but final value. So, V initial is 1/3 VCC. V final is VCC. And VC of T on is 2/3 VCC. That is, if you start time is equal to 0 means 0 to T on. So at T on, what is the capacitor voltage? It is 2/3 VCC. Now substitute these values in the above expression. Then 2/3 VCC is equal to VCC plus, what is initial? 1/3 VCC minus VCC, final is VCC, into e power minus T on by RC. What is RC? What is the charging resistance? See the diagram. What is the charging path resistance? Series combination of RA and RB. That means RA plus RB. And the capacitor name is C on. Right? So if you simplify this, 2/3 VCC is equal to VCC, I am taking common on the right hand side. So 1. And what is this? 1/3 VCC minus VCC means it is minus 2/3 VCC. But VCC is taken common into e power minus T on by RA plus RB into C. So this VCC gets cancels. This implies 2/3 is equal to 1 minus 2/3 into e power minus T on by RA plus RB into C. So from this 2/3 I am taking to the right hand side and second term I am taking to left hand side. Then 2/3 into e power minus T on by RA plus RB into C is equal to 1 minus 2/3. So what is 1 minus 2/3? It is 1/3. And this 3 gets cancels. If you take natural logarithm on both sides, then it is minus T on by RA plus RB into C is equal to this 2 I am taking to that side. So ln of 1 by 2 means it is minus 0.69. So therefore, what is T on? Therefore, T on is equal to, this minus and minus gets cancels, 0.69 times RA plus RB into C. Okay, is it clear? So initially in the on period, the capacitor is charging from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC. Its final target is VCC. So V final is VCC. V initial is 1/3 VCC. And at T is equal to T on, it is 2/3 VCC. So substituting those values here, we got this. On period is 0.69 times RA plus RB into C. Similarly, now let us derive the off period. So T off. So what is off period? It is nothing but, as per the operation, it is nothing but the time taken by the capacitor to discharge from 2/3 VCC to 1/3 VCC. And what is its target? It wants to discharge up to 0. But whenever the capacitor voltage just falls below 1/3 VCC, the state of output is changing. Okay. So its final target is 0 and initial value is 2/3 VCC, and at T is equal to T off, its value is 1/3 VCC. So here also VC of T is equal to V final plus V initial minus V final into e power minus T by RC. Right? And here V initial is, it starts discharging from 2/3 VCC and its final target is 0. But at T is equal to T off, its value is 1/3 VCC. So substituting these values, 1/3 VCC is equal to V final is 0 plus initial is 2/3 VCC minus V final is 0 into e power minus T off by, what is the discharging path resistance? It is RB and on resistance of this Q1. But on resistance of Q1 is very small, you can neglect it. So only RB is the discharging path resistance and C is the capacitor name. So in the place of R, you write RB into C. Right? So now if you simplify this, 1/3 VCC is equal to 2/3 VCC into e power minus T off by RB into C. This 3 gets cancels, VCC gets cancels. So e power minus T off by RB into C is equal to, this 2 I am taking to the other side, so it becomes 1/2. Now take natural logarithm on both sides. Then natural logarithm and e power gets cancels. So T off by RB into C is equal to ln of 1/2. It is equal to minus 0.69. So this minus gets cancels. Therefore, what is T off? 0.69 into RBC. Okay, here off period is nothing but the time taken by the capacitor to discharge from 2/3 VCC to 1/3 VCC. and its final aim is reaching 0. So final value I have substituted 0, and at t is equal to t of, it is reaching a value of 1/3 VCC. So at t of, it is 1/3 VCC. By substituting these and simplifying, we will get the off period as 0.69 into RB into C. And what is the total time period then? So T is equal to time period of the output. T on plus T off, right? T on plus T off. So it is 0.69. In both cases, we are having 0.69. So you can take this common. There it is RA plus RB into C. Here RA is not there, but RB is there. So it is 2 times RB into C. So this is the total time period of the stable multivibrator output. Then what is frequency of oscillations? You know it is 1 by T. So 1 by this value, 1 by 0.69 is 1.45 by RA plus 2RB into C. Okay. So this is the time period and this is the frequency. Okay, now let us see duty cycle. So what is duty cycle? Duty cycle is nothing but on period to the total period. It is the ratio of on period to total period. So T on by T on plus T off. And generally it is represented as percentage. So into 100%. Suppose if your on period and off period are same means, then what is the duty cycle? If T on is equal to T off, what is the duty cycle? Suppose T on is 1 millisecond and T off also 1 millisecond. So what is the duty cycle? 1 millisecond by 1 millisecond plus 1 millisecond. So it is 2 milliseconds into 100. So it is 50%. Similarly, if the on period is less compared to off period, so here we can conclude if T on is equal to T off, duty cycle is 50%. If T on is less than T off, then duty cycle is also less than 50%. And if T on is greater than T off, then duty cycle is greater than 50%. So duty cycle is directly proportional to the on period. If on period is more means duty cycle is more. Okay. Now let us see, can we generate square wave of any duty cycle? Okay, just now we have described the operation. See here. So what is the on period we got? T on is equal to 0.69 into RA plus RB into C, and T off is equal to 0.69 RBC, right? So can we have equal on and off periods? That means, can I generate 50% duty cycle with this? So at what condition you will get 50% duty cycle? If on period equal to off period. So if RA is equal to 0, then both on period and off period are same, and you will get 50% duty cycle. but there is a problem with making RA equal to 0. If RA equal to 0, what happens? This transistor is shorted, right? That is, this transistor collector is directly shorted to the VCC and it draws more currents and it will damage this transistor. So, if one component is damaged, means the timer IC will be damaged. That is, it won't work. So, that is the problem. Other duty cycles you can easily obtain with the help of RA, RB and C values. But 50% duty cycle means RA should be 0. But RA is 0 means there is a chance of damaging the transistor and hence the IC. So, how to overcome this problem? So, it can be easily solved with the help of JK flip-flop. Okay, there are two methods. The first one is with the help of JK flip-flop. So, first we have to generate the square wave as usual with the help of RA, RB and C values. So, this is the 555 timer. Okay, instead of taking output here, now I am using a JK flip-flop. And the output of JK flip-flop is taken as the final output. And here J and K I am always supplying with VCC. And here the clock signal will be there. So, the output of a stable multivibrator is given as clock. Then what happens, you see? Let us assume the duty cycle of a stable multivibrator is less than 50%. That means on period is low compared to off. Like this. Okay, this is a stable multivibrator output which is applying as clock. So, it is negative going clock pulse, negative edge trigger, JK flip-flop. So, what happens when J and K are 1, for every clock pulse, it will change its state. Initially, if it is in on state means it will change to off. Initially, if it is in off, it will change to on. So, permanently we are connecting these two inputs to VCC means both are supplied with logic 1. So, always in toggle condition. So, toggle condition means, for example, initially I am assuming output is logic low. So, whenever it receives the clock pulse, what happens? It changes its state to on. For the next clock pulse, it will change its state to off. For the next clock pulse, it goes to on, like this. Now, if you observe, both on period and off period will be same because they are each negative clock pulse. That means the time period is same, right? From this to this time period is same means here on period is same as off period. But here the time period of final output is double the stable multivibrator time period. That means frequency will be half. but we will get 50% duty cycle if we connect the JK flip-flop like this. Okay, and the second method is okay, here instead of single resistor, I am drawing along with parts. So this is a potentiometer, this is a potentiometer, this is 100 ohms, this is also 100 ohms, and here I have connected a diode. This is C, and this combination is RA, and this combination is RB, and this is 7th pin, this is 6th pin, and 2nd pin also here. Now what is happening? During the charging period, this will be off because this diode will be forward biased. So forward biased means it will act as short circuit. So there is no effect of RB. Now what is the on period? T on is equal to 0.69 into RA into C instead of RA plus RB into C, because during on, when the current is flowing like this means this diode will be in forward biased condition. So forward biased condition means it will act as short circuit. So there is no effect of this resistor. It will be shorted. So only RA resistor will be there. So 0.69 RAC. And what is T off? Already we know it is 0.69 RB into C. So during discharging, this diode will be in open condition. So it will act as normal stable multivibrator. So it is 0.69 RBC. So to get 50% duty cycle, we can make RA is equal to RB. That is, if you take equal values of resistor here and here, then we can easily generate 50% duty cycle. But you may get doubts here, then why we are connecting this variable resistor and 100 ohms resistor like that. Variable resistor means it can vary from 0 to any value, right? Suppose it is 100k pot means it can vary from 0 to 100 kilo ohms. But here, why I am connecting 100 ohms means to provide minimum resistance so that high currents will not flow. Okay, to limit the currents, I am connecting a 100 ohms resistor in series with each pot. Okay, in this manner we can generate 50% duty cycle also. If you want any other duty cycle also, it is very easy. That's why it is called adjustable duty cycle rectangular wave generator. Okay, for any values of RA and RB based on your requirements, with the help of different RA, RB values, we can get the required duty cycle. Okay, now let us see some problems. Okay, in 555 stable multivibrator, if RA is 6.8 kilo ohms, RB is 3.3 kilo ohms, and C is 0.1 microfarads, calculate T high, T low, free running frequency and duty cycle. So here they have given us the values of RA, RB and C values, and we need to find T high means the on period, T low means the off period, free running frequency. That means we have to find the total time, and 1 by total time will give us the frequency, and duty cycle means on period by on period plus off period. So what is the on period formula? T high. So T high is nothing but T on. So that is equal to 0.69 into RA plus RB into C. Okay. So let us substitute this value. So 0.69 into what is RA? 6.8K and RB is 3.3K into C is 0.1 micro. So if I simplify this, it is 0.69 milliseconds. The on period is 0.69 milliseconds. Now let us see T low means T off. So it is equal to 0.69 into RB into C. So 0.69 into what is RB? 3.3K into C is 0.1 micro. So the answer is 0.227 milliseconds. And then free running frequency. So to find frequency, first let us find the time period of this. So it is T on plus T off. So it is 0.69 milliseconds plus 0.227 milliseconds. How much? 0.917 milliseconds. Now what is the free running frequency? It is 1 by time period. So 1 by 0.917 milli. So how much? 1.08 kilohertz. And then what is the duty cycle? T on by T on plus T off into 100. So T on, what you got? 0.69 milliseconds. And T on means 0.69 milli plus 0.227 milli into 100. So this is equal to 75.2%. Okay. Here we have calculated the on period 0.69 into RA plus RB into C, and off period means 0.69 RBC, and total time means T on plus T off, and frequency means 1 by time period, and then duty cycle means T on by T on plus T off into 100. So in this way we have to solve, and then determine the frequency of oscillation if the duty cycle is 20% and on period is 1 millisecond. So what is duty cycle formula? T on by T on plus T off into 100. So this implies, what is the duty cycle given? 20%. So 20 is equal to, what is T on? 1 millisecond. So 1 into 10 power minus 3 by 1 into 10 power minus 3 plus T off into 100. Right? So if you simplify this, so if I take this 100 to this side, it becomes 1 by 5, that is 0.2 is equal to 10 power minus 3 by 10 power minus 3 plus T off. So frequency of oscillation we need to find means, first we need to find the T off, then total time becomes T on plus T off, and 1 by total time will give you the frequency. So first let us find T off. So cross multiplication, 0.2 into 10 power minus 3 plus 0.2 into T off is equal to 10 power minus 3. So this implies 0.2 into T of is equal to, this is 1 millisecond minus 0.2 millisecond means it becomes 0.8 milliseconds. So this implies T off is equal to 0.8 by 0.2 means it is 4 milliseconds. Okay. So T off is 4 milliseconds. Now what is total time? T is equal to T on plus T off. So T on is 1 millisecond, T off is 4 milliseconds. So total it becomes 5 milliseconds. But the question is we need to find the frequency of oscillations. So it is F is equal to 1 by T. So 1 by 5 milliseconds. So it is 1 by 5 means it is 0.2, K means 200 Hertz. Okay, duty cycle is given, on period is given. We need to find the frequency of oscillations. Duty cycle means it is defined in terms of on period and off period. So only unknown in duty cycle formula is T off. So once we find T off, total time means T on plus T off, and frequency of oscillations means 1 by total time. Now it is a design problem. Design an stable multivibrator using 555 timer for a frequency of 1 kHz and a duty cycle of 70%. Assume C is 0.1 microfarads. Okay. So here design means we need to find the values of RA and RB because C already given. So given frequency is 1 kHz and duty cycle is 70%. I can write 0.7 and then C is 0.1 microfarads. So F is 1 kilohertz means what is the time period? Total time 1 by 1 kilohertz means it is 1 millisecond. And what is the formula for this? 0.69 into RA plus 2 RB into C. So this implies 10 power minus 3 is equal to 0.69 into RA plus 2 RB into C also given, it is 0.1 micro. Micro means 10 power minus 6. So this is first equation. And next duty cycle D is 0.7, that is RA plus RB by RA plus 2 RB. Because on period by total period, CC gets cancelled, 0.69 gets cancelled. So this is the formula for duty cycle. So this implies, if I simplify this, RA plus RB is equal to 0.7 RA plus 1.4 RB. Okay. So now if I take RA term to the left hand side, so RA minus 0.7 RA means it is 0.3 RA is equal to 0.4 RB. So this implies RA is equal to 1.33 times RB. Now substituting this in 1, so what will be the answer? 10 power minus 3 is equal to 0.69 into RA is 1.33 RB plus 2 RB means total it becomes 3.33 RB into 0.1 micro. So from this, what is RB? From this, RB is 3 kilo ohms. And if I substitute here, what is RA? 3.99 kilo ohms. So once you find these values, draw the 555 stable multivibrator and place these values. Then only the design will be completed. Okay, what is RA value we got? 3.99K and RB 3 kilo ohms. C is 0.1 micro. Now, if you simulate this, then your output will have a frequency of 1 kilohertz and a duty cycle of 70%. That means your on period is more compared to off period. Okay, now let us see the applications of stable multivibrator. So first application is FSK generator. FSK means frequency shift keying. Okay, frequency shift keying means it shifts between two frequencies. In teletypewriter, 1070 Hz and 1270 Hz. Between those two frequencies. That is, in binary, if input is 0, one frequency. If input is 1, the other frequency. So like that it will shift. So coming to the diagram. Okay, it is normal stable multivibrator. Here, okay, this is the additional setup to generate the FSK. See here, it is PNP transistor. So when it is logic low signal, so for logic low, what happens? PNP. So emitter base junction will be forward biased, and this transistor acts like on transistor. Then what is the charging path resistance for this capacitor means? RA and RC will be in parallel, and this parallel combination will be in series with RB. Okay. So like that it will change. So if input is 0, frequency is 1.45 by RA parallel RC plus 2RB into C. That is, in the place of RA, we are having RA parallel RC. Next, when input is 1, what is the frequency? If it is 1 means high means emitter base junction will be reverse biased and this transistor will be in off condition. Off means open, then there is no effect of this resistor RC. So it is just like our normal stable multivibrator. So RA plus 2RB into C. For input 0, it is giving one frequency. For input 1, it is giving other frequency. So input is shifting between 0 and 1 means output also frequency is shifting between two frequencies. And in teletypewriter, it is 1070 and 1270. So like that, we will design the values of RA, RB, RC. Based on the application, we will design between which frequencies it needs to be shifted. So like that, with the help of a stable multivibrator, we can generate the frequency shift keying signal. And the next application is PPM, pulse position modulation. Okay, when we are not using the control pin, we have connected this to the ground through 0.01 microfarads capacitor. Okay, but here we are applying the message signal to the fifth pin. In a stable operation, if we apply the message signal to the fifth pin, that is control pin, it is nothing but 2/3 VCC point, then the output will be the pulse position modulation. Let us see. Suppose this is your message signal. These are the actual pulses. Okay. Then pulse position modulation means the position of this pulse is varying with respect to the message signal. Here, this we are applying at the fifth pin. So, on period is nothing but the capacitor to charge from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC. But here it is changing 2/3 VCC plus some point. So, that some point is here. If it is very high, then it takes more on. Okay, so because of that, the position of the pulse will be varying. So here it is complete peak, so it takes more time. So like this. So the position of the pulse is varying with respect to the amplitude of the message signal. So in this way, it generates the pulse position modulation. Okay, in monostable multivibrator, if we give the message signal to the control pin, control voltage pin, then it gives us pulse width modulation, where the width of the pulse is changing with respect to the message signal. Whereas in a stable mode of operation, if we give the message signal to the control pin, then it gives the pulse position modulated output. So pulse position modulated output means the position of the pulse is varying with respect to the amplitude of the message signal. Okay, now let us recap what we have discussed in this class. What is a stable multivibrator? So a stable multivibrator means it is a square wave generator with both the states are quasi-stable states. Quasi-stable state means it doesn't need any external trigger pulse to change its state. Okay, both on state and off state will automatically changes its state without any external trigger pulses. What is duty cycle? So duty cycle means on period by on period plus off period into 100%. What is the on period of a stable multivibrator? So on period is 0.69 into RA plus RB into C. And what is off period of a stable multivibrator? 0.69 RB into C. And what are the applications of a stable multivibrators? It is used to generate the frequency shift keying signals and as well as pulse position modulation outputs. So FSK, PPM are the applications. How 50% duty cycle square wave can be generated from a stable multivibrator? By using JK flip-flop or T flip-flop you can use. Okay, if both inputs of JK are tied to logic high, then it toggles. For every clock pulse, it changes its state. So, on period and off period will be same. So, in that manner, we can generate the 50% duty cycle square wave. How a stable multivibrator acts as FSK generator? So, here one transistor, PNP transistor is connected such that if input is logic high, then the transistor will be in off condition. So, it will just behave as normal stable multivibrator to give a frequency of oscillations as 1.45 by RA plus 2RB into C. Whereas, when logic 0 it receives, then the transistor will be in on condition and the frequency of oscillations becomes 1.45 by RA parallel RC plus 2RB into C. That is, it shifts between these two frequencies. How a stable multivibrator acts as pulse position modulator? If the message signal is supplied to the fifth pin, that is control voltage pin, then in the stable mode of operation, it will give us the pulse position modulation outputs. And this is your assignment. And these are the references. I hope you understand. Thank you.